I'm Hande the Dietitian, and welcome to Healthy Made Simple, where I show you how to make healthy eating simple. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make 3 easy vinaigrettes that you can use for salads, bowls, with your protein, whatever you like. Since it's the summertime, I'm looking for lighter meals nowadays, and I think vinaigrettes are a really easy way to add flavorings to not only salads, but many other dishes as well, so that you have that nice little light touch of dressing without going overboard in terms of calories. These are all olive oil based with some vinegar added in, a little bit of sweetness, salt, pepper, and some flavorings in there to make them really delicious. So if you're looking for easy vinaigrette recipes, stay tuned to see how I put these 3 together. Alrighty, let's go. For the first one, we're going to do a citrus vinaigrette. And for that, I'm going to start out with a base of 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. And that goes. And then next, I'm going to do 2 tablespoons of orange juice. And I'm just using like a bottle of orange juice, but you can also juice your own oranges as well. That would work. And then 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and this is freshly squeezed lemon. And I'm also adding in 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And then to add a little bit of sweetness with all the sour things we have in there, I'm going to do a tablespoon of honey. And if you find that it's not sweet enough for you, you can always do another tablespoon or 1/2 tablespoon in addition, but I'm going to go with just a tablespoon of honey. There we go. And then we're going to add in our salt and pepper. I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of salt. There we go. And a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. There we go. And once we have all of our ingredients in the mason jar, I'm just going to close it up and give it a good shake. And there you go. You got yourself a citrus vinaigrette. All right, the second one we're going to do is going to be a red wine vinaigrette. So for that, again, we're going to start out with a base of 1/2 cup of extra virgin olive oil. And then we're going to add in our red wine vinegar next. I find that so hard to say, but I'm doing 3 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. All right. And then we're also going to add in a tablespoon of Dijon. And I got a little spoon to scrape off the rest. So a tablespoon of Dijon. And then next we're going to be doing a tablespoon of honey, again for a little bit of sweetness. I'm going to use the same spoon I had earlier. So I'm going to do a tablespoon of honey. And if you don't like the sweetness in your vinaigrettes, you can always skip this, or you can substitute other sweeteners as well. If you wanted to do maple syrup or agave, you could do that as well too. But honey is what I typically tend to use when it comes to sweetening things, just because I find it to be the most versatile out of all the sweeteners. All right, and then we're going to do 2 cloves of minced garlic. And if you've seen my previous video on the minced garlic that I do and stick in the freezer, I just use 1 cube of those. So I just let it kind of sit out for a few minutes to defrost and then added that in. All right, and then lastly, we're going to do salt and pepper. So I'm going to do the same amount as the last one. I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And again, you can adjust the salt and pepper ratios if you like. If you're trying to go even lower sodium, you can do less salt, more black pepper for taste if you like. But I find that the half a teaspoon of salt adds a nice layer of saltiness without it being too salty. And I think it helps to keep the measurements relatively consistent with different recipes so that you kind of have a base idea of what you can go off of and then change around the ingredients as needed. All right, so we're going to do the same thing, put the lid on and give it a good shake. And there we go. There's our red wine vinaigrette. Not very red because of the Dijon that's in there. If you want it really red wine vinegar, you can always add in more. But this is a good ratio for me to have that little bit of taste while having it be a nice vinaigrette that can be paired with a lot of different things. And the last one we're going to do is going to be a balsamic vinaigrette. And the recipe for this is basically the same as the red wine vinaigrette that we just did, except we're going to use balsamic vinegar instead of red wine. So again, I'm starting with a base of half a cup of extra virgin olive oil. And then this time we're going to add in the balsamic vinegar. And for that, I'm doing 3 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. So the nice part about this is you can keep this base recipe and do different vinegars in it to change it up every time. And then we're going to do a tablespoon of Dijon, just like we did last time. There we go. And then again, I'm doing 2 cloves of garlic. It's my minced garlic, so 1 cube of those minced garlics, the big ones that I do. Okay. And then we're going to be doing a tablespoon of honey again for sweetness. It tends to be pretty standard for vinaigrettes to add some sort of sweetness in there just because all the other things we can add in can be quite acidic. So it kind of helps cut through that. All right, and then salt and pepper. So again, we're going to do half a teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. Come on. All right, there's my salt. And there's black pepper. Perfect. Alrighty. Let's close this guy up and give it a good shake. And there you go. You got yourself a balsamic vinaigrette. So we have all 3 of these guys. And if they ever settle like this, you can always give it another shake. And that's the nice part about using mason jars for vinaigrettes like this, so that you can store them easily in your fridge and also be able to kind of give it a shake and give it a good mix before you use them every time. And there you go. You got yourself 3 vinaigrettes that were very easy to make, pretty standard recipes so that you can kind of keep it in mind and don't have to refer to a recipe every time, as long as you have a general understanding of the different measurements between your olive oil, whatever you're using, whatever vinegar you're using for flavoring, and whatever sweetness you're adding in, as well as the salt and pepper. So I hope this was a helpful video for you. In these summer months, vinaigrettes like this are really nice to add to salads, to have with your protein, to make some bowls. So whatever you're looking to use it for, I hope this gives you a good idea. And if you haven't already done so, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you stay tuned for more. Thanks again, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.